As the heavens wept, the rain poured down in torrents, each drop a harbinger of the chaos that lay ahead, excruciatingly hard. I stood in the driveway, a small suitcase clutched tightly in one hand, the other gripping my umbrella as the fierce wind howled around me, threatening to tear it from my grasp. The front door crashed shut, echoing through the silence like a thunderclap, sealing my fate within these walls. "You're just an extra mouth to feed," she spat, her words slicing through the air like a dagger. My son, eyes filled with hurt, turned away, the weight of her disdain heavy on his shoulders. No embrace, no warmth, just a chilling void where affection once lingered. Not a single farewell. Only those chilling words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. My hands trembled violently. I struggled to grasp the chaos that had just unfolded before my eyes. Could this possibly be real? Indeed. It was a moment suspended in time, a breath held in the throes of uncertainty, where the very fabric of reality trembled on the edge of revelation. I gazed upon the house, a looming spectre of secrets and shadows, its very walls whispering tales of despair and longing. The very house, the one I contributed to, when my son embarked on the tumultuous journey of marriage. The very house where I toiled, scrubbing, painting and fortifying, all in the name of welcoming their newborn into a world of safety and warmth. Now, I found myself barred from crossing that threshold, a prisoner to the very air that surrounded it. Why, oh why? In a twist of fate, my daughter-in-law cast her judgment upon me, believing I indulged in an excess of food. "I'll find somewhere to stay," I whispered, my voice barely audible as tears mingled with the relentless rain, each drop a reminder of my despair. Yet, within the depths of my soul, a shattering occurred. And then, from the depths of the shadows, something far more powerful stirred to life. They believed they could cast me aside, as if I were nothing more than a discarded piece of trash. They have forgotten the very hands that forged their empire, the silent architects of their success, lost in the shadows of their own triumphs. And I would not slip away into the shadows without a fight. With trembling hands, I grasped my phone, the weight of uncertainty heavy in the air, and reached out to a voice from the past, a ghost I hadn't dared to summon in 17 long years. In the dim light of a flickering candle, I reveal my name. Evelyn. A name that echoes with secrets and shadows, a name that carries the weight of untold stories waiting to unravel. Alone, I fought the world to raise my sole child, Jordan. When Jordan was just a mere 3 years old, his father vanished from his life, leaving behind a void that would echo through the years. One fateful morning, he gathered his belongings with a heavy heart and declared, in a voice trembling with urgency, that he must embark on a quest to discover his true self. He vanished into the shadows, never to return. In a world turned upside down, I found myself thrust into the dual role of both mother and father, a heavy mantle to bear, fraught with the weight of expectation and the fierce love that drives one to defy all odds. In a relentless whirlwind of toil, I found myself shackled to not one, not two, but 3 grueling jobs, each demanding more than the last, each moment a battle against the clock and my own exhaustion. In a world where dust and chaos reigned supreme, I took on the daunting task of cleaning houses. In the dim light of the diner, I stood behind the counter, dishing out plates of steaming food, each order a silent plea for satisfaction in a world that often felt so cold and unforgiving. On weekends, I found myself entangled in a whirlwind of fabric and thread, crafting garments for my unsuspecting neighbours, each stitch a secret, each hem a hidden tale. I remained silent, my lips sealed tight as the storm raged within me. Jordan was the very essence of my existence, the heartbeat of my soul. I poured my soul into his hands, offering every fragment of my being, every ounce of love, every whisper of hope. It was all laid bare before him, a heart exposed, trembling in the shadows of uncertainty. He was a genius, a prodigy in the realm of numbers, weaving intricate equations with the ease of a master artist. In a twist of fate, he secured a scholarship to delve into the world of finance. Tears streamed down my face as he stepped inside, a moment heavy with unspoken words and raw emotion. My pockets were empty, a haunting reminder of what I could not possess. Yet, I was the one who stepped in, providing for his rent, his food, and the very school supplies he needed to thrive. In a moment of desperation, I relinquished my old laptop to him. And so, fate intervened, and he crossed paths with Tiffany, a moment that would forever alter the course of his life. She was breathtakingly beautiful, gleaming with an intensity that captivates the eye, a surface so refined it seems to whisper secrets of perfection, born into a world of opulence and privilege. In the beginning, a surge of joy coursed through me for him. But from the very beginning, an icy chasm loomed between us, a palpable distance that sent shivers down my spine. Her smile, a mere facade, flickered across her lips as if compelled by an unseen force, devoid of warmth, a hollow gesture that pierced through the air with an unsettling chill. I swore to myself, in the depths of my soul, to cast aside the chains of judgment. Perhaps, just perhaps, as the relentless sands of time slipped through the hourglass, she would finally thaw, revealing the warmth hidden beneath her icy facade. In a whirlwind of passion and urgency, they exchanged vows in a hasty ceremony, sealing their fates in a dramatic twist of love's unpredictable game. In a twist of fate, her parents stepped in, their generosity sealing the deal on the house down payment, a lifeline thrown in the midst of uncertainty. In the shadows, I slipped Jordan the cash, a clandestine act shrouded in secrecy. In the depths of my heart, a tempest brewed. I longed to extend my hand, to offer solace, yet the weight of guilt hung heavy in the air. How could I help without casting shadows upon his soul? From the moment their daughter Mia entered this world, I was there, a steadfast presence, lending my hand every single day. Diapers strewn across the floor, bottles clattering in the darkness, and the haunting echo of late nights stretching into eternity. I never uttered the word no. But then, a seismic shift occurred. Tiffany unleashed a torrent of words, each one dripping with intensity. "Evelyn, the burden of the dishes does not rest upon your shoulders. In a moment of quiet triumph, I have already folded the laundry. Tonight, the kitchen transforms into a battleground of flavors and aromas as I take on the daring challenge of cooking. Will the ingredients unite in harmony, or will chaos reign supreme? Only time will tell." I smiled, a chilling grin, and retreated into the shadows. Perhaps she craved the vast emptiness of solitude. Then, an oppressive silence descended, thick and suffocating, wrapping around them like a shroud. She abruptly severed all communication with me. Not a single gaze exchanged. Absolutely not. As I stepped through the door, she vanished into thin air. Yet, I remained silent, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. Oh, how I wished to avoid the storm. Trouble was the last thing I desired, yet fate had other plans. Then, on a fateful day, the phone rang, and it was Jordan. "Mum, can you please come and stay with me for a bit? I need you now more than ever." In a twist of fate, Tiffany is returning to the grind, and the stakes are high as we find ourselves in desperate need of assistance with Mia. Without a doubt, I uttered the word, a single syllable that echoed with the weight of 1,000 unspoken truths. Yes, without a moment's pause. In the beginning, the air was thick with warmth, a deceptive embrace that whispered promises of comfort. Mia's eyes sparkled with a fervour that ignited the very air between us, a love so palpable it could shatter the silence of the night. In a whirlwind of chaos, I slaved over the stove, scrubbed every surface until it gleamed, and raced against time to snatch her from the clutches of the school day. Jordan exclaimed, "I can't fathom how we would endure without you." But Tiffany was consumed by a storm of discontent. One fateful morning, I caught the hushed tones of their conspiratorial whispers echoing through the kitchen, a chilling prelude to the storm that was about to unfold. "She's always here," Tiffany declared, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and disbelief. "It's as if she's eternally bound to this place, a haunting presence that lingers in the shadows, never truly departing." "She's helping," Jordan declared, his voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and urgency. "She stands there, a mere shadow of indifference, refusing to extend a hand when I need it most. She sits, a mere silhouette against the backdrop of life, consuming, existing, inhaling the very essence of the moment. That night, tears streamed down my face, a silent storm brewing within. In a twist of fate, the very next week, Tiffany severed all ties, plunging me into a silence so profound it echoed in the depths of my soul. Silence hung heavy in the air, a void where warmth once thrived. No smiles, no greetings, only the chilling absence of connection. Even Mia, once a beacon of warmth, retreated into the shadows of her own heart. The echoes of bedtime hugs have faded into silence, and the frantic rush of little feet seeking comfort after school has vanished into thin air. And so, the fateful night arrived, shrouded in an air of impending doom. It was a fateful Thursday, the kind that would etch itself into the annals of time, forever altering the course of destiny. In a sizzling pan, I conjured up golden fried plantains, a mountain of fluffy rice, and tender stewed chicken, each element a testament to culinary passion and artistry. Tiffany stormed in, her eyes blazing as she surveyed the spread before her. "I didn't ask for this," she declared, her voice echoing with disbelief. After dinner, she lingered by the doorway, her voice trembling with urgency as she declared, "We need to talk." I stepped into the living room, trailing behind her, the air thick with unspoken tension and the weight of secrets yet to be revealed. She stood there, defiant, refusing to take a seat. With a fierce determination, she crossed her arms, a silent storm brewing within her. The tension in the air thickened, as if the very world held its breath, waiting for the inevitable clash that was about to unfold. "I think it's time you moved out," she declared, her voice trembling with a mix of resolve and despair. My gaze locked onto her, a tempest of emotions swirling within me. "What? You've been here for months," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and urgency. "How could it be? You simply do not work. Rent remains unpaid, a silent accusation hanging in the air. You are nothing more than an additional burden, a mere extra mouth demanding sustenance." I cast my gaze upon my son, who lingered in the shadowy hallway, a figure caught between innocence and the weight of unspoken truths. "Jordan," I demanded, my voice trembling with urgency. His gaze pierced through me, a moment suspended in time, and then, with a deliberate slowness, he nodded, each movement heavy with unspoken tension. That was it. The moment hung in the air, heavy with unspoken words and electric tension, as if the world itself held its breath, waiting for the inevitable fallout. Silence hung in the air, a heavy shroud of unspoken words. No embrace, no dialogue. Only the bitter sting of treachery lurking in the shadows. With trembling hands, I gathered my belongings, each item a weighty reminder of what I was leaving behind. As I crossed the threshold and stepped into the world beyond, a storm of emotions surged within me, the air thick with uncertainty and the promise of the unknown. The rain descended with a ferocity unmatched, each drop a relentless hammer against the earth. There I stood, utterly stranded, with no chariot to carry me away from this desolate place. There I was, engulfed by shadows, drenched to the bone, utterly isolated in my despair. In that moment of tension, I drew forth my phone, the weight of anticipation heavy in the air. My fingers trembled as they hovered over a number I believed was lost to the shadows of my past, a number I never imagined I would dare to call again. "Is anyone there?" A voice, deep and resonant, echoed through the silence, shattering the stillness like a thunderclap. "It's Evelyn," I declared, the weight of my name hanging in the air like a thunderclap. "I implore you, I am in desperate need of your assistance." Silence hung in the air, thick and suffocating, as time itself seemed to hold its breath. Never did I imagine your voice would echo in my life once more. "My son's wife just kicked me out," I exclaimed, my voice trembling with disbelief. "She branded me an unnecessary burden, a mere extra mouth to feed." Silence. A deafening void where echoes of unspoken words linger in the air, heavy with anticipation and dread. The stillness wraps around like a shroud, suffocating yet electric, as the tension mounts, ready to explode into chaos at any moment. "Meet me tomorrow at 9 a.m, he declared, his voice echoing with an urgency that sent shivers down my spine. You won't believe what I have to share with you. It's something you absolutely need to hear." Little did I realize in that moment, the man I had just summoned held the keys to the very building where my son and his wife resided, their lives intertwined with his in ways I could never have imagined. Sleep eluded me that night, a haunting spectre lurking in the shadows of my restless mind. As I reclined on the couch at Aunt Rhoda's, my gaze fixated on the ceiling, a tempest of thoughts swirled within me. With a haunting squeak echoing every 5 seconds, her fan became a relentless reminder of the tension that hung in the air. Yet, it was not the cacophony that held me captive in the depths of the night. It was a tempest raging within the confines of my very soul. How could they betray me like this? After everything that has transpired, after enduring the trials of solitary struggle to raise him alone, after I had given him sustenance when my own resources were depleted, after aiding them in constructing the very foundation of their existence, they cast me aside as if I were mere dust, unworthy of their gaze, a mouth that should not be there, an unwelcome presence in the shadows of existence. The words echoed relentlessly in my mind, a haunting refrain that refused to fade away. With each occurrence, I felt my jaw tighten, a storm brewing within me. My heart thundered in my chest. A searing heat surged within my chest, yet beneath that fiery wave, another sensation stirred something darker, more profound. Dominion. A sensation long buried, clawing its way back to the surface, ignited by the knowledge they remained blissfully unaware of. Jordan stood frozen, a chilling realization washing over him. He had no idea whose name loomed ominously on the papers of the very building they called home. But I did. Oh, the audacity of it all. And there I was, the phone pressed to my ear, the moment hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. I had just called him. Morning burst forth with an unforgiving intensity. Aunt Rhoda, with her warm smile and gentle demeanour, extended an invitation to share a cup of tea, but I, burdened by an unseen urgency, declared that I must depart at once. She reached out, desperate for answers, but I held my ground, keeping it painfully simple. Merely a meeting, but oh, the tension crackles in the air like a storm waiting to unleash its fury. With a heavy heart, I stepped out of the house, the door creaking ominously behind me. The street stretched ahead, a silent witness to my journey, as I made my way to the cafe at the corner of Bellevue and Fifth, each step echoing with uncertainty. In that very cafe, a haunting echo of the past lingers, a place I once frequented 2 decades ago, when life was a tapestry of vibrant colours, my son a mere child, and my heart, still raw and mending from the jagged wounds of an ancient betrayal. And there he stood, a figure cloaked in mystery, the air thick with tension as the world around him held its breath. Sitting in the dimly lit corner booth, shadows danced around, whispering secrets of the night. Elijah. He remained, a ghost of his former self, untouched by the relentless march of time. His beard was now a stormy cascade of grey, each strand whispering tales of time and turmoil. His suit cut through the air like a blade, each line more defined, more menacing than ever before. But the instant our eyes locked, he rose with deliberate slowness, a smile creeping across his face. Oh, that same smile that had once swept away all my fears and doubts, leaving only a haunting echo of what was lost. I stood frozen, the weight of uncertainty gripping my heart like a vice. "Elijah," I commanded, my voice echoing with urgency. "Evelyn," he uttered, his head nodding slowly, a storm of emotions brewing beneath the surface. It has been an eternity. We took our seats, the air thick with anticipation. Silence hung heavily between us, a palpable tension that seemed to stretch on forever. I gazed upon his hands, a paradox of strength and tenderness, each movement a testament to a life lived with both power and precision. He shattered the stillness with a voice that echoed like thunder in the night. "Can you believe it? Your daughter-in-law has cast you out into the cold, leaving you to grapple with the betrayal." I nodded, the weight of the moment crashing down upon me like a tidal wave of revelation. She hurled the words at me like daggers, branding me an extra mouth, a burden who contributes nothing to the household. The sting of her accusation lingered in the air, heavy and suffocating. Jordan stood frozen, a statue of silence, betraying me with his inaction, his lips sealed in a damning hush. Elijah stood frozen, a statue carved from stone, his heart a tempest of unspoken words and unyielding silence. He appeared eerily composed, as if the storm within him was a secret he alone could bear. Then he uttered a phrase that sent my heart plummeting into an abyss of disbelief. "They reside within the ominous walls of the Crown Ridge building, do they not?" I nodded, each movement heavy with unspoken tension. "Elijah, is that your building looming in the shadows, casting its ominous presence over us?" He smiled once more, but this was no sweet smile. It was a knowing smile, laced with secrets and shadows. "Indeed, Evelyn, that belongs to me. It was a decade ago. A fateful purchase that would change everything." The atmosphere in the cafe shifted dramatically. In an instant, the air was stolen from my lungs, leaving me gasping in a desperate struggle for breath. "You possess the very edifice they call home," I breathed, my voice barely a tremor in the charged air. He nodded once more, lifting his tea to his lips, as if the weight of the world rested upon that delicate cup, a facade of normalcy cloaking the storm brewing beneath the surface. "And what about you? How could you keep such a secret from them? Why on earth would I?" He declared with a voice that echoed through the silence, a proclamation that hung heavy in the air. From that fateful moment when I extended the lifeline of opportunity to Jordan, he became a ghost, avoiding my gaze as if it were a curse. The air thickened with unspoken words, and the weight of his silence echoed in the corridors of my mind, haunting me with the shadows of what could have been. Do you recall the moment he strode out of that interview, his arrogance radiating as if I were nothing more than dust beneath his feet? How could I ever forget that? It lingers in the shadows of my mind, a haunting reminder that refuses to fade away. I cast my gaze downward, the weight of the moment pressing heavily upon me. He was young, brimming with pride, a fire igniting within him, ready to conquer the world. And now, he finds himself shackled to a woman who callously discards his own mother as if she were nothing more than refuse. He halted, the weight of the moment crashing down around him. "Silence has wrapped around you like a shroud, Evelyn. It's time to break free from the chains of your own making. You pour out your heart, your soul, your very essence, time and time again. And they seize it all, leaving naught but emptiness in their wake." I wiped my eyes, the tears cascading down my cheeks like a torrential storm, each drop a testament to the turmoil within. I simply yearned to weave myself into the very fabric of their existence. "You still can," he declared, his voice trembling with urgency. I gazed at him, my heart pounding, the air thick with unspoken tension. "What are you uttering?" He leaned forward, the tension in the air palpable, as if the very fabric of reality held its breath in anticipation. "Behold, I possess the power to transfer the very building into your name. Not a soul shall ever uncover the truth. I shall remain, inked in the shadows, as the principal agent of this unfolding tale. Yet, in the eyes of the law, the property shall be yours. It is you who shall wield the power of the rent collection. The weight of responsibility rests upon your shoulders." My breath seized in my throat, a gasp of disbelief echoing in the silence. "Elijah, this is beyond the pale." "It is absolutely not," he declared with unwavering conviction. "In the darkest hour, when shadows loomed and despair threatened to consume me, you emerged as my beacon of hope, the solitary figure who dared to stand by my side when all others had vanished into the abyss. In the darkest hour of my divorce, when despair clung to me like a shroud, it was you, my unexpected saviour, who appeared, bearing sustenance as if to nourish my very soul. You, the saviour who emerged from the shadows to rescue me from the clutches of debt. You snatched me from the jaws of despair, and you shattered my heart," I whispered, the weight of my words hanging heavy in the air. He stood there, unyielding, a statue amidst the chaos, not a single muscle twitching in defiance of the storm around him. I did indeed. Each day, the weight of that regret crushes my soul, a relentless reminder of choices made and paths not taken. Allow me to take the reins of this moment. Forgiveness cannot be purchased, no matter the price one is willing to pay. Yet, it stands firm, unwavering, for it is the very essence of righteousness. I gazed out the window, my heart pounding with anticipation. My hands quaked with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Could this possibly be real? Do it, I commanded, my voice trembling with urgency. Transfer it now, before it's too late. His smile stretched impossibly wide, a glimmer of mischief dancing in his eyes. And Evelyn? Indeed. Increase the rent. Triple it. The stakes are high, the tension palpable, and the outcome hangs in the balance. Will it be enough? Only time will tell. In the whirlwind of the next 2 weeks, time twisted and turned, racing forward with a ferocity that left no room for breath. Chaos reigned supreme as events unfolded at a breakneck pace, each moment more intense than the last. In the dimly lit room, Elijah's lawyer moved with a chilling calmness, the papers slipping through his fingers like secrets waiting to be unleashed. As the clock struck the end of the 2nd week, a monumental shift occurred. I was now the rightful owner of the Crown Ridge building, a title that echoed with both triumph and trepidation. Elijah clung to the title of manager, a position that seemed to defy the chaos swirling around him. Yet, I clutched the title tightly, as if it were the last flicker of hope in a world gone mad. As the truth crashed down upon me, tears streamed down my face, a torrent of emotion unleashed, not for the sake of wealth, not out of a thirst for vengeance. But in that moment, after years of silence, a surge of power coursed through me, electrifying every fibre of my being. Not above the rest, in the tumultuous saga of my existence, I was more than a mere vessel of motherhood, or the matriarch of our lineage, or a heavy weight that drags you down into the depths of despair. I was Evelyn, a name that echoed through the shadows of my past, a haunting melody that lingered in the air like a ghostly whisper. My existence was a tapestry woven with threads of betrayal and longing, each moment a dramatic revelation that left the world gasping for breath. In the depths of my soul, a tempest brewed, ready to unleash, and I was finished with the silence that had suffocated me for far too long. On that fateful day, when the ominous rent increase letter arrived in the hands of the tenants, Jordan's voice pierced through the silence, calling me with urgency. I turned my back on it, casting it into the shadows of my mind. Then, in a moment that sent shivers down her spine, he texted, "Jordan, Mum, you won't believe what just happened. The building manager stormed in with a notice that our rent is skyrocketing, tripling, can you imagine? Is this truly real? We simply cannot bear the weight of that expense." Tiffany weeps, her tears cascading down her cheeks like a torrential storm, each drop a testament to her heartache. Silence enveloped the moment, a heavy shroud of unspoken words. I chose not to reply. Just 5 agonizing minutes later, the phone rang once more, shattering the silence like a thunderclap. The phone rang, its shrill cry echoing through the silence, but I let it ring, a defiant choice hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. Suddenly, the doorbell at Aunt Rhoda's shattered the silence, echoing through the air like a harbinger of chaos. With bated breath, I dared to part the curtain, my heart racing as the world beyond lay shrouded in mystery. It was Jordan. The name echoed through the air, heavy with unspoken secrets and a tension that crackled like electricity. Who could have imagined? The revelation hung in the balance, poised to shatter the fragile peace that had settled over everything. Jordan, an enigma wrapped in shadows, a figure that could ignite chaos with a single glance. With a trembling hand, I turned the doorknob, the creaking hinges echoing like a haunting whisper in the stillness of the night. "Mum," he uttered, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and urgency. "What on earth is happening?" With a heavy heart, I pushed the door closed, sealing away the chaos within as I ventured into the unknown beyond. "What brings you to this moment?" Standing before me in the shadows of uncertainty. "You have to help us," he exclaimed, desperation lacing his voice. "We simply cannot afford such an outrageous rent. The moment has arrived, Mia's school fees are due, and the weight of this reality hangs heavy in the air." Tiffany stands at the precipice of revelation, her heart racing as the shadows of her past loom ominously. The air crackles with tension, each breath a reminder of the secrets she harbors. Will she unveil the truth, or will the weight of her choices consume her? The stage is set, and the drama unfolds with every heartbeat. I raised my hand, a silent plea echoing in the charged air. Did she weep as she cast me aside? Jordan's eyes widened in disbelief. What? Did tears cascade down her cheeks as she stood in the heart of her living room, declaring that I was nothing more than an extra mouth to feed? He averted his gaze, as if the weight of the world pressed upon him, a storm brewing in the depths of his soul. She was engulfed in a tempest of stress. Did the weight of the world press down on her as I prepared the meal? When I snatched Mia from the clutches of that mundane school day, when I meticulously folded your laundry, each crease a whisper of our shared moments, a silent testament to the chaos of our lives intertwining. Silence. A deafening void that echoes through the very fabric of existence, a stillness that grips the heart and sends shivers down the spine. In this moment, everything hangs in the balance, teetering on the edge of revelation and despair. What secrets lie hidden in the depths of this profound quiet? The air thickens with anticipation, as if the world itself holds its breath, waiting for the storm to break. Will the silence shatter, or will it consume us whole? Text I possess that building now, Jordan, I declared with a voice that echoed through the air, heavy with the weight of finality. Either you cough up the market price, or you pack your bags and leave. The choice is yours, but the stakes have never been higher. His gaze pierced through me, cold and unyielding, as if I were nothing more than a ghost haunting his memories. Are you truly serious right now? As grave as that fateful day when you stood silent, refusing to defend me. He recoiled, a gasp escaping his lips as the weight of the moment crashed down upon him. Wow. He gasped, his voice barely a breath, laden with disbelief. Do you truly desire to witness our torment? No, I said, my voice trembling with the weight of the moment. Feel the weight of abandonment, the crushing despair of being cast aside, as if you were nothing more than a discarded memory, lost in the shadows of neglect. Perhaps then, you'll finally cease to cast aside the very souls who yearn for your recognition. He vanished into the shadows, leaving nothing but silence in his wake. Silence hangs heavy in the air, ghostly, and with a resounding thud, I slammed the door shut. 1 week later, they vanished into the night. Tiffany took to Facebook, her heart heavy, to reveal the devastating news of losing their dream home, a casualty of the insatiable greed of landlords. Sympathy comments flooded in, each one a whisper of sorrow echoing through the digital void. In a heart-wrenching moment captured forever, she shared a tear-streaked photo, Mia clinging to a teddy bear, a symbol of innocence amidst the storm of emotions. Silence enveloped the moment, a heavy shroud of unspoken words hanging in the air. I stood there, paralyzed, my lips sealed tight, refusing to break the tension that crackled around us. Let them cling to their delusions, for the truth is a tempest they cannot bear. It was never my intention to unleash such devastation. In a world where compassion reigns, I shattered the illusion to reveal the stark truth. Kindness, too, has its boundaries. Even the most tender of hearts, that of a mother, can turn to stone when driven to the brink. And in that moment, an eerie calm washed over me, as if the flames of fury had been extinguished, leaving only a chilling void in their wake. A wave of tranquility washed over me, a serene stillness amidst the chaos of existence. But the tale has only just begun. 3 days later, like a spectre returning from the shadows, Jordan reappeared. This time, he clutched a white envelope, its starkness a harbinger of secrets yet to be unveiled. "Mother," he declared, "what you are about to hear will change everything." I burst through the door, the world outside a tempest of uncertainty and anticipation. "What now?" "I've been harboring a dark secret from you," he confessed, his voice trembling with the weight of unspoken truths. I narrowed my eyes, a storm brewing within, as the tension thickened in the air. What kind of dark secret lurks in the shadows? With trembling hands, he thrust the envelope toward me, a silent storm brewing in his eyes. Before Dad left, he didn't merely vanish into thin air. With a trembling hand, he scrawled his name upon the paper, sealing his fate in that fateful moment. A will, a harbinger of fate, a document that holds the power to unravel destinies and ignite chaos among the living. What secrets lie within its ink? What betrayals await in the shadows? The very essence of life and death hangs in the balance, waiting to be unleashed. And he departed, leaving behind a haunting gift just for you. But Tiffany's father, oh, the weight of his presence looms like a dark cloud, casting shadows over every whispered secret and unspoken fear. In the shadowy depths of my youth, he unleashed chaos upon the papers, obliterating them without a trace. It was declared, with a weighty finality, that ignorance was a far more merciful fate than the truth you were never meant to uncover. My heart came to a sudden halt. What in the world? Jordan's head dipped in a slow, deliberate nod, as if the weight of the world rested upon his shoulders. He abandoned you, leaving behind only the barren expanse of land. Vast expanse of earth, stretching endlessly before the eye, a realm of untamed potential and hidden secrets waiting to be unveiled. In the shadow of the forsaken airport, where echoes of the past linger like ghosts, a tale unfolds. In a dusty, forgotten storage box, I stumbled upon the long-lost copy, a relic of the past waiting to be unearthed. With trembling hands, I grasped the envelope, my heart racing as I prepared for the revelation within. Within those walls lay a tattered relic of a will, its ink barely clinging to the page, whispering secrets of a past long buried. And a map, a mysterious parchment, its edges frayed, whispering secrets of adventures untold. And in an instant, the very foundations of my understanding crumbled to dust. Let me take you on a tumultuous journey through the shadows of my past, concerning the tumultuous path that lies ahead. Once more, the tides of fate began to shift, heralding a transformation that would leave no soul untouched. For what lay inscribed upon that map was far more than mere territory. It was a realm of liquid gold, a land pulsating with the promise of wealth and power. I stood paralyzed, my eyes locked onto the ancient map clutched tightly in my trembling hands. The paper lay before me, frail and fragile, its edges tinged with a haunting yellow, exuding the musty scent of dust and the weight of forgotten years. My fingers trembled as they traced the ink lines, the haunting curves, the ominous markings. And then, in a moment that felt like the world had stopped, I saw it. Parcel 7. B. A name that echoes with mystery and intrigue. A mere collection of letters and numbers that holds secrets untold. What lies within its confines? What drama unfolds in the shadows of its existence? The air thickens with anticipation as the very essence of curiosity grips the heart. Oil rights, a treasure locked away, fiercely guarded and shrouded in mystery. Behold, the enigmatic figure known as Evelyn M. Daniels, the owner whose presence commands attention and stirs intrigue. I cast my gaze upward, locking eyes with Jordan. Did you have any idea about this? He shook his head with a fervor that echoed the turmoil within him. Absolutely not, I swear. The weight of my words hangs in the air, a promise forged in the fires of conviction. It was just 3 days ago when I stumbled upon it, a revelation that would change everything. There it lay, hidden away in a dusty old folder, a relic of the past, mingling with the remnants of Dad's life. I concealed it from Tiffany. I believed it was only right for you to witness it first. My heart pounded violently in my chest, not merely from disbelief, born from the depths of fury, from the abyss of the soul. For all these years, I have whispered in the shadows, secrets clinging to my lips like a forbidden promise. I existed in a world where your father abandoned me, leaving behind not just a mountain of bills, but a heart shattered into a million pieces. Jordan's voice shattered like glass. He simply did not. He abandoned this, casting it aside like a forgotten relic of a shattered past. He abandoned it, a haunting gift left in the shadows, just for you. But your wife's father, he shattered the will into a million pieces. I demanded with a piercing intensity. He nodded, a slow, deliberate movement that seemed to echo in the charged silence, as if the very air held its breath in anticipation of what was to come. He whispered, his voice trembling with urgency, that it was far better for you to remain in the dark, oblivious to the storm brewing just beyond your reach. You claimed you would squander it all away. I was merely a child, lost in the whirlwind of innocence. Confusion enveloped me like a thick fog, leaving me in a state of bewilderment. My blood turned to ice. I averted my gaze from Jordan, my eyes fixated on the desolate street ahead, a chasm of uncertainty stretching before me. Cars raced past, their engines roaring like thunder, each one a fleeting shadow in the dim light of dusk. Children dashed through the streets, their backpacks bouncing wildly on their shoulders, a whirlwind of youthful energy and unbridled excitement. But for me, time came to a screeching halt. For 27 long years, the very foundation of my existence crumbled beneath me, revealing that everything I held dear was nothing but a web of deceit. That fateful night, I found myself at the kitchen table, locked in a tense silence with Aunt Rhoda. With a dramatic flourish, we unfurled the map beside the tattered remnants of the will, each crease whispering secrets of the past. "Is it true that this land lies in the shadow of the airport?" she demanded, her eyes narrowing with intensity. "Indeed," I responded, "and it bears the ominous mark of oil." She let out a drawn-out, haunting whistle that echoed through the silence. "Millions could be yours, Evelyn, if only you knew the truth lurking in the shadows." "I don't want the money," I exclaimed, my voice echoing with a fierce intensity that pierced the silence. "I demand the unvarnished truth. Reveal it to me now. But the stark reality is money, darling. The land. Oh, it holds a value so profound. It echoes through the ages." I pressed my fingers against my temples, a storm of thoughts raging within me. My head was a whirlwind of chaos. Aunt Rhoda declared with a tremor in her voice, "Elijah will know what to do. She was undeniably right." The following morning, I found myself standing before Elijah's office, nestled in the heart of downtown, anticipation crackling in the air like a storm about to break. His building loomed high, a glimmering fortress of glass, teeming with sharply dressed figures who strode through the halls as if they were the very rulers of the universe. He ushered me inside, his gaze locking onto the map with a piercing intensity, an eyebrow arching in disbelief. "This is real," he declared, his voice trembling with the weight of revelation after a tense pause. "And oh, how incredibly valuable it is. What am I supposed to do with this?" I demanded. "We'll begin by delving into the land registry," he declared, a hint of intrigue lacing his voice. "Then, we shall unveil the truth whether it still bears your name or not." "And what if it is?" He reclined, the weight of the world pressing down upon him. "Then you, Evelyn, shall possess one of the most coveted oil plots in this entire state, a treasure that many would kill to claim." 2 weeks slipped away, shrouded in an unsettling silence. It stretched on, an eternity of torment and despair. In a whirlwind of urgency, Elijah's team raced against time, their every move charged with electric tension. They delved into the depths of records, scoured through files, and set foot upon the land, each step echoing with the weight of secrets waiting to be uncovered. In a desperate bid for the truth, they summoned a geologist, a harbinger of revelation, to unveil the secrets buried beneath the soil. Then, with a voice that pierced the silence, Elijah called out, "You must come in, it's urgent, and time is slipping away." My legs trembled uncontrollably as I stepped into his office once more, the air thick with tension and unspoken words. With a swift motion, he thrust a file into my hands, the weight of it heavy with unspoken secrets. "It belongs to you, and only you. It remains, hauntingly, in your name. It was never sold, a haunting truth that lingered in the shadows, echoing through the silence of forgotten dreams. No one dared to lay a finger upon it. With trembling hands, I dared to unveil the file, the weight of its secrets pressing down on me like a storm about to break. My name echoed through every page, a haunting refrain that demanded attention. Then, in a moment that felt like the earth itself had shifted beneath my feet, I laid my eyes upon the geologist's report. Behold, A staggering revelation. 1.8 million barrels of oil reserves await discovery. Behold, a staggering figure emerges from the shadows, $36 million. A sum that could alter destinies and ignite fierce ambitions. The paper slipped from my grasp, fluttering to the ground like a fallen leaf, its secrets now exposed to the unforgiving world. I can hardly fathom this, I uttered, my voice quaking with disbelief. Oh, Evelyn, you are a woman of immense wealth, Elijah whispered, his voice barely breaking the silence, laden with unspoken tension. But this transcends mere currency. This is the reckoning. With trembling hands, I seized the papers and, heart racing, I locked them away in the depths of a drawer, sealing secrets that could shatter lives. Then, with a heart pounding in my chest, I sank into my seat, gripped the pen tightly, and began to pour my soul onto the page. It was not merely a letter. It was not merely a will. It was a tempest of fate, a harbinger of chaos lurking in the shadows. It was a plan, a web of intrigue and deception, lurking in the shadows, waiting to unfold with devastating consequences. Power surged through me like a tempest, and I vowed not to squander a single moment of it. Yet, I had no intention of wielding it as a weapon of vengeance. Not in a straightforward manner. I would seize it to reconstruct my very essence, my existence, my enduring legacy. The moment when Jordan and Tiffany desperately attempted to discard it. I shall forge it into an unbreakable force, more powerful than it has ever been. The following morning, I found myself drawn to Jordan once more, a sense of urgency pulsing through my veins. In a twist of fate, he and Tiffany found themselves ensnared in the confines of a small 2-bedroom apartment, teetering on the very edge of town, where shadows whispered secrets and dreams hung by a thread. The space felt suffocating, as if the walls were closing in, trapping every breath in a vice of despair. The walls, oh, they were so thin, whispering secrets of despair and longing, trembling under the weight of unspoken truths. A mountain of unpaid bills loomed ominously by the front door, a silent testament to the chaos brewing within. With a trembling hand, he turned the doorknob, the creaking hinges echoing the tension in the air as his eyes locked onto mine. Mother, Tiffany's home? I demanded, my voice laced with urgency. Alas, she is ensnared in the clutches of her demanding job. Excellent. I crossed the threshold, the air thick with anticipation. Mia slumped on the couch, her eyes glued to the flickering screen where vibrant cartoons danced in chaotic delight. I knelt beside her, a smile dancing on my lips, but the air crackled with unspoken tension. Oh, my dearest. In a moment, thick with unspoken words, she enveloped me in her arms, the silence screaming louder than any confession could. My eyes ignited with a searing intensity. In the dimly lit kitchen, I found myself seated across from Jordan, the air thick with unspoken tension. You will not believe what I have uncovered, I declared, my voice trembling with anticipation. I laid bare my soul, revealing every secret, every hidden truth, as the weight of my confession hung heavy in the air. In the heart of the earth, where secrets lie buried beneath the surface, the land whispers tales of ancient power and untold mysteries. It beckons with a haunting allure, a canvas painted with the shadows of history and the echoes of forgotten dreams. What stories does it hold? What truths lie hidden, waiting to be unearthed? The land concerning the oil. It was a revelation that shattered the very foundation of my existence. His father had bequeathed everything to me, a legacy wrapped in shadows and whispers. How her father had desperately attempted to obliterate it from existence. Jordan stood there, his complexion ghostly, as if the very essence of life had been siphoned from his visage. I'm so sorry, Mom, he uttered, his voice trembling with a weight of unspoken regret. How could I have been so blind? With a tremor in my voice, I uttered the words, I believe you. The weight of the moment hung heavy in the air, charged with unspoken truths and unyielding trust. But why are you telling me? He demanded, his voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and urgency. Why not seize the moment and revel in it? Because, I said, leaning in with a fervour that crackled in the air, you're still my son, and Mia remains my granddaughter, and the thought of your suffering is a torment I cannot bear." He nodded, each movement heavy with unspoken weight, as if the very air crackled with tension. His eyes glimmered with a haunting sheen, a reflection of the turmoil within. "But you must transform, Jordan. Awaken. The truth lies before you, waiting to be seen. You stood by as the one you cherished was cast aside, a mere shadow of their worth, and uttered not a single word." "I know," he whispered, his voice trembling with the weight of unspoken truths. "Every single day, the weight of my regret crushes me. A relentless reminder of choices made and paths not taken. With a fire in my eyes, I declared, I shall forge something unprecedented, a foundation, the very bedrock upon which dreams are built, trembling with the weight of untold stories and fierce ambitions. Can you feel the pulse of possibility? It beckons, daring you to step forward into the unknown, where every crack and crevice whispers secrets of the past, and the future hangs in the balance, waiting for a spark to ignite its potential. What will rise from this sacred ground? Only time will tell. A sanctuary, a fortress, a place where dreams are born and shattered, where laughter echoes and silence screams. A home, but what lies beneath its facade? A name that echoes through the silence. A whisper of fate hanging in the air, poised on the brink of revelation. "I want to help," he declared, his voice trembling with urgency. "If you would only grant me this chance." I halted, the weight of the moment crashing down around me. "We shall see," I replied, a storm brewing in my heart. "For now, I shall bestow upon you a singular gift, a token of my fleeting mercy." His eyes darted, a storm of bewilderment swirling within them. What gift could possibly hold the weight of such a moment? A question that hangs in the air, thick with anticipation and uncertainty, as if the very fabric of fate is woven into the answer. What gift? The silence screams for revelation. With a trembling hand, I extracted a sealed envelope, its weight heavy with secrets, and slid it across the table, the air thick with anticipation. Within lies a check, a silent promise waiting to be unveiled. It's a sum that could secure your shelter for half a year, yet it remains tantalizingly out of reach in this very place. At Crown Ridge, the air crackled with tension, secrets lurking in every shadow, and the weight of unspoken truths hung heavy like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. In a twist of fate, I have engaged in conversation with the new tenant who has claimed your former unit. She stands at the precipice, ready to break free from the chains that bind her, willing to move out into the unknown. His eyes bulged in disbelief. "Are you truly presenting me with the chance to reclaim our former apartment?" "Indeed. But only if Tiffany dares to utter the words of contrition." His gaze pierced through the air, heavy with unspoken words, as he locked eyes with me, a moment suspended in time. "She will not," he declared with a voice that echoed through the silence. "Her pride knows no bounds." "Then she can stay here," I declared with unwavering resolve. For pride, alas, offers no coin for the rent that looms over us. 7 days slipped away, each moment heavy with unspoken tension. Then, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a thunderous knock shattered the stillness at Aunt Rhoda's door. Tiffany lingered on the threshold, the air thick with tension. Unadorned, bare, stripped of all artifice, no extravagant attire. Only jeans and a sweater. A seemingly simple choice, yet it holds the weight of untold stories and hidden depths. She appeared, diminutive. "May I enter this realm of yours?" she demanded, her voice trembling with urgency. I stepped aside, my heart pounding, the weight of the moment crashing down around me like a tidal wave of uncertainty. She lingered at the kitchen table, silence enveloping her like a heavy shroud. Then, with a gasp that shattered the silence, she opened her mouth. In a moment of piercing clarity, I realized the truth. I was wrong. Those were her final words, echoing in the silence like a haunting refrain. Yet, it was more than sufficient. With a heavy heart I nodded, the weight of the moment crashing down upon me like a tidal wave of despair. "Text, you may move back in," I declared, the weight of my words hanging heavy in the air. But never, ever let the memory of being scorned slip from your grasp. She nodded, a silent agreement hanging in the air, heavy with unspoken tension. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, a storm brewing within their depths. In a twist of fate, Jordan found himself returning to the very home he once fled, the walls echoing with memories both haunting and familiar. Mia came barreling towards me, arms wide open, ready to embrace me once more. Her laughter erupted like thunder as I swept her off her feet. The apartment lay in a suffocating silence, an eerie stillness that clung to the air like a heavy fog, whispering secrets of the past. In a world where chaos reigns, a moment of tranquility emerges, a fleeting whisper of serenity amidst the storm. The calm before the tempest, a fragile breath held in suspense, waiting for the inevitable clash of fate. I barely lingered, the weight of the moment pressing down like a storm ready to unleash its fury. I abandoned them to their fate, the air thick with tension and unspoken words. For I had devised a grander scheme, one that would shake the very foundations of my existence. My dreams were poised to rise from that land, a vision waiting to be unleashed. It's more than mere currency. A towering edifice emerges from the shadows, a testament to ambition and dreams yet to unfold. One for mothers like me, caught in the whirlwind of chaos and love, where every moment teeters on the edge of despair and joy. Women cast aside, discarded like yesterday's news. Women, lost in the shadows, with no one to grasp onto in their darkest hour. Behold, I shall name it the Evelyn House, and it would rise defiantly, looming over the oil fields they desperately sought to conceal from my gaze. I found myself teetering on the precipice of existence, the vast expanse of land stretching before me like a dark abyss, whispering secrets of the unknown. The sun blazed mercilessly upon my face, a fiery orb casting its relentless heat, igniting every nerve with its searing touch. The wind howled, a sinister whisper, as it bore the acrid scent of parched grass and swirling dust, a foreboding omen in the air, but lurking beneath the surface. There lay oil, a dark secret waiting to be unleashed. Power, a force that ignites the very core of existence, a tempest that swirls through the hearts of men and women alike, leaving chaos in its wake. It beckons, it consumes, and it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. In its grasp, destinies are forged, and lives are shattered. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the drama unfolds with every heartbeat. Who will rise? Who will fall? The stakes have never been higher. In a world teetering on the brink of chaos, where shadows lurk and danger whispers in the dark, one word echoes with haunting urgency. Security, a future shrouded in uncertainty, where shadows loom and destinies collide. I shut my eyes, and in the depths of my mind I conjured the scene. A towering edifice looms above, casting an ominous shadow over the streets below. Amidst the chaos, they stood resolute, encased in formidable walls that whispered tales of resilience and defiance. Rooms, pristine and untouched, await the breath of life. A stark contrast to the chaos that lurks beyond their walls, they stand as silent sentinels of order in a world spiraling into disarray, sanctuaries of solace. For women like me, caught in the tempest of life's relentless storm, women cast aside, abandoned by the very families that should have sheltered them, left to wander in the shadows of despair. Women, cast aside and labelled as too much, their voices drowned in the chaos of judgment. Time has slipped away, leaving behind the haunting echo of age. Too old, they whisper, as shadows dance around the fading light. Or perhaps, in the path that lies ahead, women who sacrificed it all. And we were abandoned, stripped bare, left with nothing but the echoes of our shattered dreams. That was the grand vision I would construct, more than a mere refuge. Yet, a declaration looms large. Behold, I shall name it the Evelyn House, a title that echoes with intrigue and whispers of untold stories, and it would be mine. Oh, the audacity of fate, the very essence of desire pulsating through my veins, igniting a fire that cannot be extinguished. Elijah believed my aspirations soared too high, teetering on the edge of madness. "You're sitting on $36 million, he declared, his voice dripping with disbelief. "Imagine a life where you cast off the shackles of the daily grind, where the sun-kissed shores beckon you to retire in blissful serenity. Picture yourself wandering the globe, each destination a new chapter in your thrilling saga of adventure and discovery. Beaches? No, I refuse." I shot back, my voice laced with defiance. "I demand bricks. I demand beds. I crave significance, a purpose that ignites the very core of my being." His gaze pierced through the air, lingering like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. Then, with a grin that sent shivers down spines, he smiled. "In a moment of undeniable resolve, I shall extend my hand to you." We plunged into the fray, the weight of urgency heavy upon us. Attorneys, the architects of justice, wielding their pens like swords in the courtroom arena. Masters of creation, wielders of innovation, they stand at the precipice of possibility, crafting the very foundations of our world. Their minds, a tempest of ideas, clash and converge in a symphony of intellect and ambition. In the shadows of their blueprints, the future awaits, trembling with anticipation. Will they rise to the challenge, or will their dreams crumble like dust in the wind? Masters of design, wielders of space, architects stand at the precipice of creation, where dreams collide with reality, and visions take form in the shadows of towering structures. City permits, the very lifeblood of urban ambition, a ticket to dreams and desires, yet shrouded in red tape and bureaucratic shadows. Will they grant the key to unlock the future, or will they slam the door shut, leaving aspirations in the dust? The tension hangs thick in the air, as hope battles against the cold, hard reality of regulations. Architects of dreams, wielders of steel and stone, they rise from the ashes of ambition, crafting the very foundations of our existence. Little did I know the monumental effort that lay ahead, a daunting challenge that would consume every ounce of my being. The sheer number of papers I was forced to sign. It felt like an avalanche, each document a weighty testament to the chaos unfolding around me. What a staggering number of fees. Can you believe it? Permits. The very word hangs in the air like a storm cloud, heavy with anticipation and dread. What secrets do they hold? What doors will they unlock? The tension is palpable, a silent scream echoing through the corridors of possibility. And so, the relentless tide of meetings surged forth, crashing upon me in an unending cycle. Yet, I was resolute, my spirit ignited by an unyielding fire, because the memory of that fateful night flooded back, as I stood alone in the pouring rain, clutching my suitcase like a lifeline. All alone, in the suffocating silence, the weight of solitude presses down like a heavy shroud, utterly humiliated. That shall never occur again, not in this lifetime, not to me, and not to any woman who dared to cross the threshold of Evelyn House. In a twist of fate, Jordan stepped into the fray, a beacon of unexpected support amidst the chaos. Initially, I was resolute in my decision to keep him out of it. Yet, he persisted, haunting every corner of her life. He arrived, a glimmer of mischief in his eyes, bearing snacks for the crew, as if he were a harbinger of delight amidst the chaos. He whisked me away to the site inspections, the tension crackling in the air like a storm about to break. He demanded answers, his voice echoing with an intensity that pierced the silence. As the clock ticked ominously, I found myself ensnared in the shadows of the office, the weight of the night pressing down like a heavy shroud. I stayed late, a prisoner to the relentless demands of the day, each passing moment thick with tension and uncertainty. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, they found themselves picking up the remnants of others' negligence, cleaning up the trash left behind by the careless workers. "I want to earn back your trust," he declared, his voice echoing in the dimly lit, unfinished halls, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. "You're beginning to," I shot back, the tension thick in the air. And he smiled, a grin that held secrets untold, a flicker of mischief dancing in his eyes, as if the world around him had paused, waiting for the storm to break. like the fragile child I once cradled in the darkness of night. Paralyzed by the suffocating shadows that creep and crawl, a primal fear grips the heart, whispering secrets of the unknown. The darkness looms, a menacing presence that stirs the soul into a frenzy of dread. Tiffany vanished without a trace for weeks, leaving everyone in a state of turmoil and disbelief. But then, on that fateful afternoon, as I stood there, eyes glued to the rising framework, she arrived in her modest little car. With a dramatic flair, she emerged, clad in jeans and a simple t-shirt, a vision that would forever alter the course of my day. She crept forward, her heart pounding, each step heavy with trepidation. "I want to help," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with urgency. Silence enveloped me, a heavy shroud of unspoken words. "I know I hurt you," she pressed on, her voice trembling with the weight of her confession. "I cast my judgment upon you. How naive I was to believe you were merely a weary soul seeking to leech off our lives. But I was utterly, devastatingly wrong." Silence hung heavy in the air, a palpable tension that screamed for release, yet my lips remained sealed, bound by an unbreakable force. "In this moment of revelation I stand before you, trembling in the shadow of your undeniable strength, a strength that eclipses my own, forever out of reach. And I yearn for our daughter to rise, enveloped in the fierce embrace of that kind of strength." With trembling hands, she thrust a small folder into my grasp, the weight of its contents heavy with unspoken secrets. "What is this?" I demanded. In a world where culinary dreams collide with architectural ambition, my company dares to craft the very essence of kitchen layouts. Behold, a design has emerged from the depths of my imagination. In the heart of the Evelyn house, where whispers of secrets linger in the air, lies the cafeteria, a stage for the unfolding drama of daily life. Absolutely no cost. As I slowly unlatched the folder, a wave of anticipation surged through me, the air thick with unspoken secrets waiting to be unveiled. It was a breathtaking spectacle, a vision that could steal the breath from one's lungs, exquisitely intricate, meticulously arranged, every detail in its rightful place, a symphony of order amidst the chaos. Fiery. With a heavy heart, I uttered, "I'll think about it." The weight of my words hung in the air, pregnant with uncertainty and unspoken consequences. With a slow, deliberate nod, she sealed her fate. And then, in a moment that felt like an eternity, they vanished into the shadows, leaving nothing but silence in their wake. Yet, deep down, I was acutely aware that I would wield it. Months dragged on, each one heavier than the last, as time twisted and turned in a relentless dance of despair. The building soared, reaching heights that seemed to pierce the very heavens. Walls were drenched in colour, a transformation that whispered secrets of change and rebirth. "Behold, the beds have arrived." Solar panels have been dramatically installed, heralding a new era of energy transformation. We summoned the counsellors, educators, social workers. In a bold move that sent ripples through the community, I forged an alliance with a local women's clinic, embarking on a mission to provide free health checks that would change lives forever. And with a haunting whisper, the Evelyn house stirred from its slumber. On that fateful opening day, I donned a striking red dress, a bold statement that would echo through the halls of time. Elijah loomed beside me, a figure shrouded in tension and unspoken words. Jordan clutched the ribbon, its vibrant colours a stark contrast to the tension in the air, a symbol of hope and despair intertwined in a moment that could change everything. Mia erupted into applause, her excitement palpable, a tempest of joy surging through her veins. A throng of onlookers had amassed, their eyes wide with anticipation. Reporters, the relentless seekers of truth, armed with pens and cameras, ready to unveil the hidden stories that lurk in the shadows of society. City officials, the puppeteers of power, stand at the precipice of decision, their every move cloaked in intrigue and consequence. Families, the very fabric of our existence, woven with threads of love and conflict, joy and sorrow, a battleground of emotions where bonds are tested and loyalty is both a shield and a sword. In the shadows of their unity, secrets lurk, waiting to unravel the delicate tapestry of their lives. Will they stand together or fall apart? The stakes have never been higher. With a heart pounding like a drum, I approached the mic, the spotlight blazing down, casting shadows of anticipation and dread. The air crackled with tension, every eye fixated on me, waiting for the storm to unfold. Text I was once cast out from the very sanctuary of my own family, I declared. Branded as nothing more than an extra mouth to feed, my existence reduced to mere burden, a haunting echo of disdain reverberating through the shadows of my life. Gasping echoes surged through the throng, a wave of disbelief crashing upon them. But today, I pressed on, defying the odds that sought to hold me back. I unveil a sanctuary where every voice echoes with significance. Every tale holds its weight in the grand tapestry of existence. Every woman is a force to be reckoned with, a story waiting to unfold, a life that demands to be heard. Applause erupted like thunder, shaking the very foundations of the room. With trembling hands, I severed the ribbon, the air thick with anticipation and the weight of unspoken promises. The moment hung in the balance, a breath held tight, as the world around me held its breath, waiting for the inevitable to unfold. And thus, the Evelyn house emerged from the shadows, a haunting reality that sent shivers down the spine of all who dared to approach. Later that fateful night, I found myself standing in the dimly lit hallway, utterly alone, the silence echoing with unspoken secrets. Silence enveloped the rooms, a heavy shroud of stillness that whispered secrets untold. The air hung heavy with an unsettling freshness, a stark contrast to the chaos that loomed just beyond the horizon. The air was thick with the intoxicating scent of fresh beginnings, a fragrance that whispered of untold stories waiting to unfold. Yet, deep within the tumult of my soul, an unexpected tranquility surged forth. I had forged a creation, an indomitable force that no one could ever seize from me, a force that eclipses the very essence of wealth itself, more enduring than the thirst for vengeance. Upon my return to the familiar confines of home, a letter awaited me, its presence heavy with unspoken secrets. A no-return address has been received, shrouded in mystery and foreboding. With trembling hands, I dared to part the cover, each inch revealing the unknown lurking within. Within the confines of that space lay a solitary photograph, a haunting glimpse into a moment frozen in time. Of my husband, the man who holds the very essence of my heart, yet dances on the edge of shadows and light, a tempest of emotions swirling in the depths of our entwined fates. Cradling the fragile form of baby Jordan, a tempest of emotions swirls within, each heartbeat echoing the weight of destiny. And there, on the back, a note lay waiting, a whisper of secrets untold. I didn't abandon you because my love for you vanished into thin air. I departed, for the very essence of my being was withering away. I yearned for you to etch my strength into your memory. My eyes brimmed with tears, a tempest of emotions threatening to spill over. As I sank onto my bed, tears streamed down my face, each sob echoing the raw, unfiltered anguish of a child lost in despair. Not from despair. From the depths of despair, a journey of healing begins. For 2 weeks, the doors of the Evelyn house had swung wide, inviting whispers of secrets and shadows lurking just beyond the threshold. In that fateful moment, 12 women had already taken residence, their lives intertwining in a tapestry of secrets and unspoken tension. Each one bore a tale, steeped in shadows and secrets, waiting to be unveiled. Some wounds cut so deep, they render words powerless, leaving only silence in their wake. Some remain unhealed, like gaping wounds that bleed into the very fabric of existence. She was but a mere girl, a fragile 19 years of age, thrown into the abyss after daring to reject a man twice her age. In a cruel twist of fate, a teacher found herself shattered, stripped of her job and her husband, all within the span of a single harrowing month. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, a grandmother, once the proud matriarch of 5 children, found herself abandoned and desolate, her home sold from beneath her, the very papers bearing none of her name, leaving her to grapple with the cruel hand of betrayal. I hung on every word they uttered, not with pity, but with a profound respect that echoes through the very fabric of existence. for I understood the bitter sting of being cast aside, discarded like yesterday's news. And with each step I took through the haunting corridors of the Evelyn house, a chilling vow echoed in the depths of my soul. In this place, they shall never fade into the shadows, forever illuminated by the fierce light of existence. On a fateful Thursday morning, as I pored over the papers in my office, the receptionist's urgent buzz shattered the silence, sending a jolt through the air. A man stands at the door, his eyes burning with urgency, demanding to see you. He insists it's a matter of the utmost personal significance. With a heavy heart, I let out a deep, weary sigh. The air was thick with tension. I simply could not bear the thought of company intruding upon my solitude. Is there a name that echoes in the shadows of his existence? He declares, with a voice that trembles with intensity. It's Thomas. With a sudden jolt, the pen slipped from my grasp, tumbling to the ground as if it were a harbinger of chaos yet to unfold. Thomas, a name that echoes in the shadows, a whisper of fate that hangs heavy in the air. What secrets does he hold? What darkness lurks behind those eyes? The stage is set, and the drama unfolds. The name that echoed through the corridors of my mind, a ghost from nearly 3 decades past, suddenly resurfaced with a jolt, igniting a tempest of memories long buried. My husband, the very heart of my existence, a tempest of emotions swirling around him, a figure cloaked in mystery and passion. What secrets lie beneath that calm exterior? What storms brew in the depths of his soul? The air crackles with tension, and every glance exchanged is a silent battle of wills. He is both my anchor and my storm, a paradox that leaves me breathless, the one who had vanished into the shadows, the one who vanished into thin air, the one who I now realized hadn't merely walked away, but had left behind a haunting trace, a dark secret buried deep within the shadows. I rose to my feet, my legs trembling beneath me, as if the very ground had conspired against my stability. Send him in now. The door creaked open, revealing a darkness that seemed to breathe, as if the very air held its breath in anticipation. He strode in, a cane in hand, each step echoing with a weight of untold stories, more fragile than the echoes of my past. Older, indeed. But those eyes, they pierced through the very fabric of reality, holding secrets untold and emotions unspoken, a tempest of longing and despair swirling within their depths, unchanged, as if time itself has conspired to keep everything in a haunting stasis. With a heavy heart, he removed his cap, gripping it tightly in his trembling hands, as if it were the last remnant of a fading memory. Evelyn, he uttered her name, a whisper laced with urgency and despair. Silence hung in the air, a heavy pause that felt like an eternity. I hesitated, my heart racing, the weight of the moment pressing down on me. I didn't answer right away. What is it that you desire? To see you, he whispered, his voice trembling with unspoken longing. Behold the creation of your hands, a testament to your vision and toil. I fixed my gaze upon him, a storm of emotions swirling within me. In the depths of my soul, hatred found no home, yet an unbearable weight lingered, pressing down with relentless force. Years of suffocating silence, a void echoing with unspoken words. Years of battling through the storm, all alone. Years of feigned indifference, a mask worn so tightly it nearly suffocated the truth. You abandoned me, I cried out. I was sick, he replied, his voice trembling with an unspoken weight, as if the very air around us crackled with tension. In a chilling twist of fate, the doctors delivered their grim verdict. A mere year remained. It was never my desire for you and Jordan to bear witness to my demise. You vanished without a word, leaving behind a silence that screams of betrayal. Little did I realize the depths of my ignorance. I sank into the chair, the weight of the world pressing down on my shoulders. And now? The air hangs heavy with anticipation, the silence deafening as the moment teeters on the brink of revelation. What fate awaits? What secrets lie in the shadows, poised to erupt? The world holds its breath. He advanced with a deliberate slowness, each step heavy with unspoken tension, before finally collapsing into the chair opposite me. "Text I saw you in the paper," he declared, his voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and intrigue. The edifice loomed ominously, casting a long shadow over the desolate landscape. In a world teetering on the brink of chaos, the curtain rises, revealing a scene drenched in tension and anticipation. Shadows dance ominously as the air crackles with unspoken secrets, and the stage is set for a tale that will grip the heart and soul. The opening, a mere whisper of what is to come, beckons the audience into a realm where every moment is fraught with peril and passion. Will they dare to venture further into the abyss? The story begins. Now. Behold! The moment has arrived. Your voice, a thunderous echo in the silence, ready to shatter the calm and ignite the hearts of all who dare to listen. Speak, and let the world tremble at your words. I waited, heart pounding, breath held, as the seconds stretched into an eternity. You transformed into something beyond my wildest imagination. He cast his gaze downward, a heavy silence enveloping the air. You had no faith in me back then, he murmured, the weight of betrayal hanging between us like a dark cloud. Indeed, you speak the truth. In that moment, I was utterly weak. You were the embodiment of strength, an unyielding force in a world that sought to break you. Silence loomed ominously in the air, thick and suffocating. "I'm not here to ask for anything," he declared, his voice trembling with an intensity that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. "In this moment, I stand before you, bursting with pride that swells within me like a tempest. Oh, how my heart swells with an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. And I am utterly, profoundly sorry." My heart raced, caught in a tempest of confusion, as I stood on the precipice of emotion, utterly lost in the chaos of my thoughts. He had transformed into a stranger, a mere shadow of the man I once vowed to love. Yet, he was not the man who walked away from me, either. He existed in a realm of contradictions, while I remained firmly outside that enigmatic world. I had transformed into someone unrecognizable. From the depths of anguish, I forged a creation, something undeniably real, pulsating with an intensity that demands attention. Text. "You know I possess the land now," I declared, my voice echoing with a weight that hung in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. He nodded, a silent agreement hanging heavy in the air, as if the weight of unspoken words threatened to shatter the fragile moment. I yearned for you to uncover it. But why entrust it to Jordan for delivery? For I believed he was destined to evolve, to rise from the ashes of his own limitations. I dared to dream it would bring you back together, repair the shattered remnants of despair. And what of you? His lips curled into a smile, a flicker of mischief dancing in his eyes. Healing is a distant dream I no longer dare to chase. Oh, how I long to gaze upon your face just once more before I vanish into the abyss. My chest constricted, a vice of dread tightening its grip. How long must we endure this torment? Just a few fleeting months. My gaze fell upon his hands, trembling with an unspoken tension. Emaciated, veined, quaking with fear. And in that moment I made a choice that would change everything. "You can stay here," I whispered, my voice trembling with unspoken tension. His eyes bulged in disbelief. "What in the world? Not in my house. Never. This sacred space shall not be tarnished by such audacity. Within the haunting walls of Evelyn House. Prepare yourself. A room of your very own awaits you, shrouded in mystery and anticipation. Absolutely no special treatment. But you shall receive care. Scorching plates of sustenance, steaming with the promise of comfort and delight. Dignity. A fragile thread, hanging by a whisper, poised on the edge of chaos, ready to unravel at the slightest touch. A battle fought in silence, where every glance, every word, could shatter the illusion. Will it stand firm, or will it crumble beneath the weight of despair? The stakes have never been higher. He fought against the tide of tears threatening to spill from his eyes. "Would you truly permit such a thing? This house is a sanctuary for the forsaken," I declared with a heavy heart. "You embody every detail of the description." He let out a delicate chuckle, a sound that seemed to dance in the air, laced with an undercurrent of intrigue. As the tension hangs thick in the air, the blade remains unyielding, its edge glinting with a promise of danger. Still sharp, with a heart pounding like a drum, I rose to my feet and flung the door wide open. "Oh, come on. Allow me to unveil the chamber where you shall lay your weary head." On that fateful night the phone rang, and it was Jordan. Tiffany gasped, her eyes wide with disbelief as she recounted the moment she spotted a figure that bore an uncanny resemblance to. "Father, he has arrived," I declared, my voice trembling with the weight of the moment. In the suffocating stillness, a heavy silence looms, thick and palpable, as if the very air holds its breath, waiting for the storm to break. For how long must this torment endure? With uncertainty hanging in the air, I uttered the words, "Not sure. Should I dare to venture and see him? The choice lies in your hands, a decision that could alter the very course of fate itself." He let out a heavy sigh, the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders. "Mother!" I yearned for transformation, a desperate longing to rise above my current self. For Mia, the storm raged within, a tempest of emotions swirling like dark clouds on the horizon. For you, a gift wrapped in mystery, a token of unspoken desires, a whisper of fate that hangs in the air, waiting to be unveiled. The journey has begun, and the path ahead is fraught with uncertainty. Will you find it in your heart to forgive him? I gazed out the window, my heart pounding with anticipation. The lights from Evelyn House flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows in the enveloping darkness. "I don't know," I uttered, my voice trembling with uncertainty. But lo, the flames of anger have been extinguished within me. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is all we need. As dawn broke, Thomas found himself ensnared in the common room, his voice weaving tales for two captivated women, their eyes wide with anticipation. His voice, a chilling whisper, cut through the tension like a knife, steady and unnervingly serene amidst the chaos that surrounded him, unyielding. They smiled, a glimmer of deceit dancing in their eyes, as the tension in the air thickened like a storm ready to unleash its fury. In a fleeting instant, the ghost of the man I once vowed to love re-emerged before my eyes. Not the one who departed, but the one I once adored, and that was beyond anything I ever dared to imagine. 3 months later, the walls of Evelyn House echoed with the weight of secrets, each corner brimming with untold stories, as it stood undeniably full. Every room, claimed and occupied, a haunting silence fills the air. Every bed, a haunting reminder, occupied by a woman who once wandered the desolate streets, lost and forsaken, with nowhere to call home. The halls echoed with raucous laughter, the sizzling of food, hushed tales shared under the cloak of darkness, and the soft mending of shattered hearts that had long suffered in silence. Evelyn stood at the epicenter of chaos, her heart pounding like a drum in the silence that enveloped her. As the tension hangs in the air, the blade remains unyielding, its edge glinting with a promise of danger. Unyielding, unwavering, a calm before the storm. She strode forward, each step a defiant declaration, casting aside the heavy cloak of shame that once bound her. She had cast aside the shackles of silence, her voice now a thunderous declaration that echoed through every room. She stood tall, a fierce determination igniting within her, no longer shackled by the chains of doubt. The weight of expectation had lifted, and in that moment she realized she belonged unconditionally, unapologetically, in any home she chose to claim as her own. Now, she stood at the epicenter of transformation, the architect of new beginnings, bestowing homes upon those in need. In the stillness of the night, Thomas slipped away, his final breath a whisper lost to the shadows, as sleep enveloped him in its haunting embrace. Evelyn perched beside him, her heart pounding as the nurses delivered the devastating confirmation. On the table beside his bed lay a solitary note, a haunting testament to his departure. From the depths of agony, You forged a blazing path of intent. From the very beginning, I sensed the power that coursed through your veins. Thank you for granting me the chance to behold it. She stood there, a statue of silence, her eyes betraying nothing as the storm of emotions raged within her. Not a single tear fell. Not that fateful night. Instead, she flung open the windows of his room, allowing the wild wind to seize his final breath and whisk it away into the vast unknown. And with a heavy heart, she turned away, plunging back into the depths of her relentless toil. As the clock struck the momentous hour, marking 1 year since the grand unveiling of the Evelyn house, a reporter arrived, poised to unravel the secrets that lay within its walls. He asked, his voice trembling with intensity, "As you gaze into the abyss of your past, what haunting legacy do you wish to leave behind for the world to remember?" Her gaze pierced through the lens, a silent challenge echoing in the air. Her voice cut through the silence, unwavering and resolute, a beacon amidst the chaos. Let them never forget that I was once labelled an extra mouth to feed, a mere burden in their eyes. And now, I nourish the multitude. Once I was commanded to depart, as if my very presence was a storm that threatened to unravel the fabric of their world. And now I unleash the doors of destiny. She halted, the weight of the moment crashing down around her. And if there's a single truth I must etch into the annals of time, it's this. Never allow anyone to diminish your spirit for simply enduring the storm. The discarded, the forsaken, they are the ones who ascend from the ashes, defying all odds. Jordan perched on the edge of his seat, clutching Mia tightly, their fates intertwined in a moment thick with tension. Tiffany, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, sat beside him, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily in the air. They rose to their feet, a thunderous applause erupting like a storm, echoing through the air with fervour and intensity. Not because Evelyn was flawless, but because she had transcended the very agony that sought to shatter her existence. A voice, echoing through the silence, shattering the stillness like glass. It calls out, a haunting whisper that sends chills down the spine, igniting a fire of uncertainty and dread. What secrets lie within that voice? What truths are waiting to be unveiled? A craftsman of dreams, shaping the very foundations of our lives. A mother, a figure of unwavering strength and boundless love, stands at the precipice of despair, her heart torn asunder by the weight of the world. In the shadows of her sacrifices, the echoes of her dreams linger, haunting her every step. Will she rise from the ashes of her trials? Or will the darkness consume her? The stage is set for a tale of heartache and resilience, where every heartbeat is a battle cry for survival. And above all, not merely an extra mouth to feed, but a cornerstone that nourished the souls of many.